Hi, my name is Adam Cole. I'm with Down to Earth, and today we'll be repotting a plant with Down to Earth BioLive fertilizer and Down to Earth all-natural potting soil. When you bring home a plant from the store and you want to pot it up into a larger size, or if you have an indoor house plant that you want to just give a little more space, it's a great time to put it in a new pot. When you think about putting it in a pot, you definitely want to always go up only one size at a time. So for this 1 gallon pot here, this is about the smallest size pot that I would use. And you can see there's about an inch, maybe 2 inches all around it. And this is about the largest size pot that I would use. It's a little bit deeper, and maybe you have 2 to 3 inches on all sides. The danger of using too large a pot is that when you water it, the entire soil material will become wet and your plant will start to get fungal problems and also some insect problems. It'll stress the plant out. So keep it in a range about from here when you're looking at a 1 gallon pot. First thing you'll want to do is prepare the soil for your plant. So you take a little bit of potting soil, put it into the bottom of the plant, and then mix a little bit of fertilizer in. Today we're using our BioLive fertilizer, which is an OMRI listed all-natural fertilizer, largely marine based. It also has a nice mix of beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi in it. And these are the bacteria and fungi that live in and around the roots, help with nutrient uptake, protect the plants from disease issues, and generally make their life a little bit better. But it's very important when you're working with these microorganisms to get them into the soil material around the pot, around where the roots are going to touch them. These aren't the kind of materials that you want to sprinkle around the side or on top of the soil. You want to get it right in. So this is an excellent time to get these, to introduce the biology to the plant. So once you get a little bit of soil into the pot, down there like a floor, you take your plant. Today we're working with the Spanish lavender. Ideally, you're going to work with a plant that is allowed to be dried out just a little bit. It allows it to be easier coming out of the plant and minimizes the chances of damage to the plant. Sometimes you'll find that it gives you a little bit of trouble. At that point, I like to take a thin knife. I've used really thin steak knife. In this case, we've got a plastic butter knife, and just go around the outside of the plant, kind of breaking that contact so that it'll slide out a little bit easier. There we go. And then you want to look at your root ball. If this is a new plant and hasn't had a lot of time to get fully developed in its root system, you'll want to be very careful with it, not want to give it too much force. But when the plant has gotten a decent amount of root binding, and you can see like a mat of roots here, you want to take your fingers and just lightly break that up. So give it a little bit of texture, take some of these roots out, and point them in the direction that they're going to grow into the soil. Then place it into your container, pressing down relatively firmly to the bottom of the soil there, making sure you have a nice floor and it's not soft beneath. At that point, you take your soil and fill in the empty spaces. And as you do that, it's not a bad idea to put just a little more fertilizer into that root zone. So after you get a layer in, sprinkle just a little more fertilizer around it, getting the mycorrhizal fungi in and around the roots of the plant, and then continue filling. Now, repotting is a somewhat stressful process for a plant. They're being moved, just like when we move, it can be a little bit stressful. So the fertilizer will help them get set in their new location. It's also really important to water them well after replanting. They've been separated from their environment, and that watering will help mitigate some of the stress. So after you get your soil back in, make sure and water nicely and evenly, get it good and saturated, and then give it a while before you water it again. You always want to avoid watering pots too much. That's probably the biggest danger with pots, is overwatering. It can lead to fungal problems, fungus gnat problems, which is a little fruit fly-like insect. You want the pot to get enough water to supply the plant with what it needs, and very little more than that. All right, once you get your soil in, you're going to want to give it a nice pressing around the outside. You don't want to press hard and squeeze it too much, but you want to feel a little bit of resistance there. That changes the structure of the soil so that water moves through it effectively. It is allowed to wick through the soil material. And it also makes it so that the plant holds a bit more moisture, or the pot holds a bit more moisture. The final step is to give the plant a good watering. Remember that you've probably allowed this plant to dry out quite a bit beforehand so that it's easier to remove from the container. And it also is a stressful moment for the plant. Giving it a good amount of water will help it adapt to its new situation. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Adam Cole, and this is Down to Earth.